In past years, the mob votes have been fraught with controversy. The first vote in 2017 was won by the Phantom, which has proven to be a controversial addition on account of its intrusiveness. The second one in 2020 pitted mobs against each other that appealed to vastly different playstyles. This year's doesn't seem to fall into either of those traps, as the three candidates are all friendly, adorable, and have a couple of neat uses each. So, which should you vote for? My name is Cameron, this is Minecraft Ideas Academy, and let's take a look at them all. The first mob, the Glare, seeks out areas that are dark enough for monsters to spawn. Once it finds one, it will look grumpy. It is also transportable in a way as of yet unknown. This mob would be very useful for builders who want to entirely mob spawn proof their builds and bases, as well as anyone wanting to fully light up the new caves. It may seem less useful after the change that reduces the maximum light level for monsters spawning from 7 to 0, but it actually complements it, because while large patches of darkness would be easily distinguishable, individual blocks would be less so, and even one dark spot has the potential to spawn a creeper to blow a hole in your base, or yourself. Letting the Glare find patches of darkness instead of checking every single block with the F3 screen is much less of a hassle, not to mention Bedrock Edition doesn't have the F3 menu. However, this mob seems to solidify light levels being connected to mod spawning as an intended mechanic, which is controversial among builders who wish to use darkness in their builds without risking mob spawning. It would, however, make it easier for new players to pick up on. The second mob, the LA, can be given an item and then will look for dropped items of the same type. It doesn't duplicate them. It will then drop its items near a note block. This could replace messy item collection setups, like ones from a geode, as well as allow for more flexible types, like cleaning up after a strip mining session. It could also make item sorters more intuitive to build. It can even do this with unstackable items, because it has one slot to hold the item you give it, and another one where it stores the other items it picks up. In some prototypes, the LAs have actually been bound to different note block pitches, so that's not confirmed, but it is a possibility. The third and final mob, the Copper Golem, can be built by the player, and randomly presses copper buttons, which will also be added. It also oxidizes over time, and when fully oxidized, it will turn into a statue, which has decorative potential. This oxidation can be reversed and prevented the same way regular coppers can. Its random button pushing behavior won't necessarily replace existing randomizers, but it would provide a charming alternative, especially within bases with lots of buttons. So those are 3 mobs, but there's some other things to consider. Remember that the mobs aren't fully finalized, so beware of assumptions. We have a little more information on them than last year, which should reduce those. Many people regret voting for the Phantom in 2017, but the other candidates had the potential to be equally as intrusive in their respective environments, except for perhaps Mob C. And last year many compared the Isolager to the Phantom, despite their only similarities being hostile and a candidate for a mob vote. Still others thought the Moobloom and Glow Squid would be useless ambience, but of course there are other features planned. The Glow Squid got glow ink and the Moobloom would have gotten a special interaction with bees, which they don't have in Minecraft Earth. And of course, vote based on what you want to see. Voting for the mob you think is the cutest or coolest looking is totally valid. Voting for the mob you want to see your favourite YouTuber interact with is equally valid. You don't need to vote for the most useful one if its uses don't appeal to your gameplay. Either way, we still get a lovely passive, fantastical creature, which Minecraft currently has precious few of. Whatever your decision, just remember that these mobs aren't lost forever like the mobs from the 2017 vote. They're going back onto the ideas pile like the ones from 2020. There's no guarantee that they'll come back, but it's not the end of the overworld if your favourite doesn't get in. The winning mob is just the cherry on the top. There's likely much more exciting stuff that will be shown off at Minecraft Live, and I can't wait to see what that is. So, what mob are you voting for? Feel free to comment below, and if you enjoyed this video make sure to give it a like, and if you really like what I do, please consider supporting me via YouTube membership. This will be the new way to get a shout out in my videos, and it's very cheap. One tier even lets you hide secrets in my videos. Despite this change, I'm still a member of the Abnormals modding team, and people who pledge on the Patreon or Nitro Boost the Abnormals Discord server get access to beta builds of all of our mods, including unreleased ones. We also have a slew of existing vanilla style mods, which you can browse through on our website. I have a lot of cool ideas for future videos, so if you subscribe and hit the bell, you'll be notified when they're uploaded. Links to other social media are in the description down below. Thank you all for watching.